balina okwemulugumya mu outcomes z'akalulu. Awo kye tusaba mugoberere emitendera because obululu bwa Uganda bateekawo n'emitendera gy'oyitamu bw'oba nga tomatidde mu ngeri zino. One, either batomatidde results oba process osobola ogiwakanya era emitendera egyo wegiri, oba bw'oba olina okwemulugumya kwonna okukwatagana n'ebya security n'okwerinda, era nawo usually tuba advisinga mujje mulodginge complaints formally ne police to investigating incidents ezo. Otherwise obukuumi bwotwagala okubawa guarantees nti tujja kubuwa nga twegasse wamu n'ebitongole ebikuumaddembe eby'omu ggwanga. Nja kuwaako also updates ku kya Sports Club Villa captain yatemulwa. Nabawa updates nti twakola arrests. Waliwo abantu betwali tukutte era tubayina we twogerera nga bano bo obukugu bwabwe buli mu kugula amasimu amabbe. Twagala okubategeeza nti essimu y'omugenzi twagifuna era ne tusobola n'okukwata abantu abaali bagiguze, ng'era kati omuyigo guli ku bantu abo abeenyigira mu kutemula. Naye nga wenjogerera kati abantu sofa abakakwatibwa tuyina bana, naye ne wenjogerera nja kubamba wa updates bwe ba arrests zeeyongere kubanga omuyigo gukyagenda mu maaso. Naye nga twagala okubategeeza also ekyongerako is that every person eyeenyigira mu kintu kino tajja kuba safe mu maaso, tujja kumukwata. Then ekintu ekyala so kyetwagala okwongerako era mu briefings za last week nakyogerako, tukyalina abantu abo abalooza nti bajja kugula amasimu amabbe then bagatunde. Amateeka gajja kubakwata. Ate ekintu ekirala kitwagala oso okubategeeza is emisango gino enkya bw'olaba nga omusango ogwa mada ate naawe omuguzi bakusembeza kumpi, teweewuunya kubanga mada erina egoberera abantu abeenyigira oba abayambako, one, before, during, after, n'ebintu ebirala bingi nnyo. So mwegendereze nnyo okwenyigira mu bintu bino ebyokugula amasimu amabbi. Era twagala okubalabula, we shall always be getting you, kubanga kati akakodyo twakategedde. Amaanyi nago tugateekamu abo abakola ki, abagula ebibbi. So ekyo mukimanye, and operations zaffe zijja kusigala nga zigenda mu maaso. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Yes, let me send a very serious warning, but also sound a clarion call. These people who engage in buying stolen items should know that their days are numbered, and that our interest into locating and getting them is very serious. We also add that, you see, you need to know that we shall be inconveniencing you to the extent of the offense and its magnitude. Because we are interested in those who commit the offense or aid or abet in the commission of the offense before, during, and after the commission of the actual offense. So, don't think that it will be as light as simply accusing you to only purchasing an item of a deceased person. When you unpack this murder case, some of these buyers are not very safe. Let me not preempt the investigations, but let me send a very serious and a clarion call to them that take this issue of buying stolen items very seriously. I thank you.
Condolences to our colleagues, NBS and the media fraternity at large. May the souls of our colleagues rest in eternity. It was very unfortunate. Share a few incidents, and I also have an appeal of a missing person. Firstly, our police at Chirarod is investigating circumstances under which this can be investigated as murder, though scientifically you can call it a fetus because it was not fully developed, but we have seen a lot of mothers have prematures as 7 months, and these babies are taken care of, and many of them have developed into very good human beings and really capable of doing everything. According to the science, this fetus was about 7 months. It happened in Kamocha where the latrine, where someone entered the latrine and dropped this fetus. It was fully built, you could really see even the sex. And we recovered this fetus. We have started investigating. It was completely cytometrically level. This is a latrine that belongs to some church premises, and investigations are ongoing. There is also a clinic that uses that same latrine, other members of the public, so as of now we cannot tell the source of this, but these are incidents that are really appalling, and we promise to investigate this matter further, and we shall be giving you details as soon as possible. There was also a very bad incident of Russian neglect causing death. This is after a tree fell and struck a man at a construction site in Chitichifumba Zone, Chira Municipality, Watuso District. This happened yesterday, and investigations are on. We shall be giving you more details as they become available. But the victim was rushed to a nearby health center and later on succumbed to death while they were transporting him to Mulanga. We have visited and examined the scene, and we shall be informing you of the next step in action. Police also at Kabalagala responded that a gas explosion scene. This is at Karen Bar and restaurant in Kasanga. This was also yesterday. 3 people who were working at the restaurant sustained serious injuries and were rushed to a nearby health facility for medical attention. Now, at first, of course, you can't say it is just a mere gas explosion. We had to deploy our experts from the police bomb squad, fire prevention and rescue services who examined the scene and determined it's actually gas. And what we determined that the gas had been opened for a long time, and I think someone ignited a match. So the gas that was still in the air ignited and struck many people. We have serious injuries, but we're still monitoring the situation. We shall be giving you the details as they become available. We can only appeal to members of the public to always be careful. If you're at a construction site, put on things, wear things that are really protective gear, shoes, gloves, and a helmet. This person was not putting on a helmet that was struck by a tree. Also, members of the public, especially those cooking with gas and potentially hazardous material, should observe safety precautions while doing their work. We encourage the public to always report any suspicious activity or safety concern to the nearest police station. There are also operations that were carried out by Chila Division, that is under Kampala Metropolitan East. They carried out areas that were covered, those that include Chiginya, Chitoke, Rail area, Namataba, Chileka, along Kamudi Road, Chinawataka, Namugongo Road, Chileku Zone, and Goyogere. A total of 27 suspects were arrested with 57 suspects were arrested in total, 27 arrested in areas of Chileka, 15 in Chileku, and 15 in Chidinya. Suspected narcotic substances were also recovered, that is marijuana, and investigations are ongoing. The suspects are now detained at Chila Division as investigations continue. As we are processing them to appear also. These operations will of course continue, and we shall be informing you of the next step of action. Also, our police at Chila Road is appealing to the public for assistance in tracing Munyaneza Dan Nelson, a 10-year-old pupil of Cardinal Primary School, Chibowatinda, who went missing on the 26th of last month. It is alleged that at around 8 a.m. on that day, Dan asked for permission from his mother to go to a friend's place to collect a book. He left home, Kulambiru Zone, Nakawa Division, but did not return. Efforts by his family and neighbors to locate him were unsuccessful, prompting a report to the police. We have done all it takes, recording statements, following up the route he could have taken, reviewing CCTV footages, but we have not been successful. This is why we are appealing to anyone who may have seen Dan or has any information regarding his whereabouts to report to the nearest police station or call this number 074-0441-520. The public is also encouraged to share this appeal in case you see it on social media. Share it widely until the child is reunited with the family. We have been appealing to members of the public in the past, and we have been successful in tracing for these missing persons, and we hope for the same. Thank you. Waliwo okusonga kw'enjagalo oyisaawo ensonga ezimu zakulagajjaku endala zattemu kuba ensonga ezinoonyerezaako ng'eyettemu wadde ng'omwana ono yabadde tanneetuuka kuba nti naamyezi mwenda naye bw'otunuulira omubiri gw'omwana abaana bangi abazaalibwa ku myezi 7 nga tebanneetuuka era ne bateekebwa ku bukeya basobola okuvaamu abantu ababulijjo. Embeera eno yabadde wali Kamukya waliwo omutuuze omu positoza mukyala yayingidde kabuyonjo ya church n'alekamu omwana tanneetuuka aba tannatuuka kuzaala. Tulowooza ekintu kino kyabadde kigenderere era poliisi yayitiddwa bukubirire esobola okugyayo omubiri gutwala muwanika. Ssaawa zino tunamanya ani yakoze ekikolwa kyo kuba diniki eyo okumutawo ekozesa kabuyonjo eyo kyaki abantu babulijjo bazikozesa. Tuyimugezako twetegereza nakola statement n'okunoonyereza era kutusinziira nti obubadde oli eyo nga mu kitundu kyoyinayo omukyala mubadde omanyi naddala okuliraana abadde n'olubuto lekalira kyali tuwa amawulire tutandikire okuba ekikolwa kino kikyamu nnyo yabadde atandika okula ngali myezi nga 7. Waliwo embeera endali mu kunoonyezebwako poliisi yaffe yakira ensonga eno ey'obulagajavu omwami omu yabadde ali ku kikolwa webazimbira ekizimbe yabadde kuba yakusatu omuti ogwagudde waggulu okumukuba mutwe. Bino byabadde mu kiti kikubazo mu kiramu kusanga mu lwezonaku tetunnamanya
Koti, Osu, Odrua, Gazi, and all are complete. So if we go through Annex 3, the following bridges were categorized under Lot 3 contract. We have Ala on the Anzu, on the Eruba Logri Road, Gazi on Rene Camp, and on Inde Ogoko Road, and the Achawa in the Rene Camp. Those 3 bridges were packaged as one project, and out of those 3 bridges, the Ala Bridge is 11 meters span, Gazi is 25, and Acha Box Culvert is a swamp crossing. The contract is Terrain Services. We are supervising it in-house. The financial progress is 90.55%, and we hope to complete the last bridge, which is Acha, by November 2026. And why we did not complete the last was the impact of floods that was between the 2019 and 2021, hindered access to site, and also because of budget suppression, the contractor was delayed to pay the contractor, and because of that, the contractor could not proceed, but now I think is resuming works. The Lugogo Swamp Crossing along Tiomkonde, Castles Road, there we did a 160-meter span bridge and 4 number box culverts and paved 3 kilometers of access roads. The contractor was China Communications Construction Company Limited. The supervision was done in-house, and this work has been completed, and it is in use, awaiting for commissioning. Also similar challenges were faced, especially in 2022, we had challenges of cement factories not producing adequate cement to support the construction industry, but even that's now the past. The project has been completed. The project number that I want to take you through is Lot 2, and these are the bridges in eastern Uganda. It's under design and build of Nabukaya, Nambola, Namesimeri, Sahana, and Kamisaru bridges on Kufu, Lokaka Road, and Rubongi Bridge on Toro Road, Nakunge. We package this as one project. There are 6. Now, Nabukaya is a 10-meter span bridge. Nambola is a series of box culverts. Nasimeri is also box culvert. Sahana is a series of box culverts. Kamisaru is a 10-meter span bridge, and Rubongi is a 12-meter span bridge. The contractor who undertook this work is China Railway 7th Group. The work is being supervised in-house, and the progress, all the bridge structures have been completed. That is at Nabukaya, Nabola, Namasimeri, Sahana, Kamisaru, and Rubongi. They are complete and being used by public. The approach roads are being constructed, and overall physical progress is 78.03%. The key challenge we have is the delay in land acquisition have affected the completion of approach roads and delayed payments to the contractors, leading to suspension of works, and also fuel shortage due to current war in Iran, and also hiking prices are having impact on the construction progress. We also have bridges under Lot 4. 6 bridges were packaged as one contract. These are in West. We have Maziba on Kitagata, Kabunyonyi Road. We have Kiruruma on Katojo Kihihi Road. We have Ruembwe and Kajwenge on Nyamaseke, Kisinga, Kiarumba Road. And then we have Kamirwa, Nyakambu, and Kabohe, Bisbuera Road. These are 6 bridges have been packaged as one project. Kajwenge is a 12-meter span bridge with approach roads. Ruembo is 16. Kanyampara is 18 meters. Kamirwa is a series of box culverts. Kiruma is a 25-meter span bridge. And Mazimba is a 16-meter bridge. The contractor we have is Sino Hydro Corporation Limited. The work is being supervised in-house. And the physical progress that all the bridge structures at Kajwenge, Ruembo, Kanyampara, and Kamirwa have been completed. The approach roads, construction ongoing in Kajwenge, Ruembo, and Kanyampara, and backfilling works are going on in Kamirwa, and bridge construction are ongoing at Kiruma, and overall progress is 65.75. And again, the key challenge is a lack of right-of-way for road and bridge works. The project affected persons engaged do not allow people work to continue without compensation. Again, we have challenge of the fuel price escalation, the weather, and then delayed payment of the contractors. Under Lot 6 in Western Sub-Region, we have the design and build of Kochi on Kerimidigo Kerwa Road, also on Arua Biliafe Road, and then Odua on Arua Apaida Road. Kochi is a 42-meter span bridge. Also is a 20-meter span bridge, and Odua is a 11-meter span bridge. The contractor is Dynaco Limited. The work was supervised in-house. Now, the progress is the Odua Bridge has been completed and used by public. Kochi is completed, is being used by public. Also, is the bridge is substantially completed, but the approach road is being worked on. The public is using a diversion. Overall physical progress is 98%, and the projects are progressing well after we paid all the contractors' outstanding IPCs. We have also Lot 1. These are packaged into 6 bridges. We have Dunga, Mahoma, Mpanga, Nabuswa, and Perepa bridges along Bukuku Rubona Road in Kabarole district. Also we had including Buera Crossing at Chikorongo, Buera Mpondwe Road. Those are 6 projects which were packaged as one. Dunga and Nyabuswa box culverts, 1 cell box culvert. Mahoma is 5x3, 1 cell box culvert. Mpanga is 5x4, 2 cell box culvert, and Perepa is 5x3.51 cell concrete box culvert. 12.5 kilometers of approach roads connecting the 5 bridges 9 kilometers gravel and 3.5 paved at the bridge sections with a minimum of 6 meters at each. Gwera crossing at Korongo was completed. This work was being undertaken by a contractor, Ampas Technical Services. The work was being supervised in-house, and the physical progress is Dunga, Mahoma, Mpanga, and Abuswa structures are complete. Construction of Perepa is ongoing. Construction of approach roads is ongoing, and overall physical progress is 56%. Again, challenges are delayed payment of IPCs, especially. The contractor suspended works between February 2024 and June 2024, and again, the hiking price of the fuel. We have another lot which has got 2 bridges. That is the design and build of Chianya Bridge on Mubuku, Maliba, Chianya, Ibanda Road, and Isango Bridge. This is in Kasisa sub-region. Chianya is a 30-meter 2-span bridge, and then Isango is a 30-meter 2-span bridge. The contract is Ambitious Construction Limited. The work is being supervised in-house, and the works are going to be completed in the works are substantially complete. The Chianya and Isango bridges are complete. Approach roads are ongoing. Then ancillary works also ongoing. And apparently, our biggest delay in land acquisition. Another lot is one bridge called Nyamogasani on Rentere Katwe Katojo Road. This Nyamgasani Lower, it's a 30-meter span bridge. The contract is Excel Construction Limited. The supervision is in-house, and currently the bridge works are ongoing. Also, a relief culvert is being constructed approach roads. Overall physical progress is 48%, and the challenges have been the Kasese floods, which delayed the construction, and it delayed the construction, and also completion of the studies for the design, and also we have challenges of the land acquisition. We have also one bridge upper on Amuru, Ome, Renekemp Road. The contract is Dynaco Limited. The supervision is in-house. The bridge is complete and open to traffic. Our challenge is delay in land acquisition have led to us not completing the approach road works, but somehow we have provided diversion to allow traffic to use the bridge. So in summary, those are the projects you requested us to give you update on, which are ongoing. And on Amodo Bridge, I'll ask my colleague from the drainage structures to update the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I would request that my colleague gives you a copy of the report and the team. Good morning once again. I'm presenting something on Amodo Bridge in Doholo district. It is indeed true that this was a presidential pledge which was given on 8th March 2017. It is one of the two bridges that were pledged by the Excellency. That is Kangai Swamp Crossing, joining Doholo and Kabaremaido districts, and then Modo, which was to join Agwara and Kwera sub-counties. So the ministry commenced works with Kangai Bridge, and that was in around 2018. It commenced works on Kangai Bridge, which it completed. That swamp crossing was completed, and we were supposed to embark on Amodo Bridge. Amodo Bridge faced some challenges because we received a high influx of flooding in that region between 2021 and 2023. As sorry to take you a bit in front, you can see the photos of the status of that swamp in 2021 through 2023. The ministry had to wait because there was significant flooding. So in 2025, we had to redesign that swamp crossing to accommodate for structures that will accommodate that influx of water. So by the end of 2025, we completed that design, and works began on Amodo Bridge in January 2026. It is indeed true that there has been some delays in construction of the bridge, because we had anticipated of the swamp crossing, because it was anticipated that this would take 2 years, and each quarter we would be able to disperse around 935 million. This was going to be done in-house by our force account team. So because of financial constraints, we were only able to provide 500 million for the construction to date, for the construction of that bridge, and that is why we are seeing a delay in execution of those works. That was just a brief background of how it came to be. But Amodo Bridge Amodo Swamp Crossing is around 2 kilometers, and the anticipated scope of works includes, of course, swamp filling, installation of a number of culverts, that is, and the construction of 6 box culverts, 6 cells, which is around 3.5 by 3.5 meter box culverts, and of course embankment protection works and approach roads. Currently, we have only funded around 6.6% of the budget that is supposed to undertake these works, and this quarter we hope to give more funding to the force account manager, who is supposed to carry out those works in-house. We indeed apologize for the delayed execution of the works, but the weather and the financial constraints could not allow us to continue. As you could see, the photos, still in the photos, we have put the current state of that swamp crossing. We still have an influx of water, but works have actually begun, and by 2028, if we get sufficient funding, we hope to complete the construction of this swamp crossing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, my colleague. I would like now take you through the challenges, general challenges we are facing on these projects. Cumulated key challenges during execution of these projects include the following. We have budget cuts and suppression by government majorly in financial years 2021 and 22 up to date, leading to delayed payment of certified works. This caused slow down suspension of works by the contractors for extended periods of time, as detailed in Annex 3 for the applicable projects. The government was able to rectify the situation by releasing supplementary funding, which we are grateful for, which has allowed the affected project to resume works. So as of now, we should be able to resume complete the works by the close of financial year 2026-27. We have lack of right-way for bridge and approach road works in various sites, causing delays in construction. Designs have been optimized as much as possible to limit land take requirements and through continuous engagement of project-affected persons to allow works to proceed while the land acquisition process is ongoing where necessary. We have fuel shortages and price hikes, especially since 2026, which has been exacerbated by the US-Iran war, and these have also to slow down works because the contractors are constrained at the high price of the fuel. We had the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused delays to ongoing works as the lockdown limited movement of human resources, equipment, and materials to and from sites. The pandemic also delayed the completion of the procurement of several lots under the project. We have challenges of changes in climate and hydrology. Hydrology design margins, cover protection, and drainage capacity are under pressure from rainfall patterns and increasingly exceed the return period assumptions, especially for older structures are built to. Further, there are more occurrences of flooding and landslides, putting more pressure on the government to intervene, yet the resources seem to be limited. And then we have a very big aging bridge stock and deferred maintenance arising from limited funding, which allows structures to deteriorate to critical levels before the interventions are undertaken. Actually, we have a lot of backlog of projects which will be done, but due to limited financing, we have a lot of unfunded priorities, for which, if we get further financing, we should be happy to do more interventions to connect the communities. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Minister.
Yes, Chairperson, this is the end of our presentation. I hand over back to you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we've received the presentation, but while the presentation was being given, some honorable colleagues joined us. I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves, then we can dive into the question session. Yes, we may start with Third District.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Achom Esther Lucy, Woman MP, Serere District.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Namtawe Joan, Woman MP, Masaka District, a member of this committee.
Good morning, Chair. I'm Joy Harriet, the Woman Member of Parliament for Obongi District. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. I am Engineer Tio William Taylor Oda, Ivu East Division representative in Arua City. I've just arrived from the city with a coarse voice. That's why I arrived late. My apologies.
Okay, no worries. You're welcome, honorable colleagues. So, Honorable Minister and your team, thank you very much for your presentations. We've received the status updates on the 30 bridges plus a model bridge. And now we can ask the team to clarify on any matters, to give further and better particulars if we need any. I'd like to know from you, Honorable Minister, I see amongst the challenges, you cite the issue of fuel shortages from June of this year. Okay, exacerbated by that. This US-Iran war is something that has probably not been on for a full financial year. So the issue of fuel shortages and citing the US-Iran war, vis-a-vis the period you give, I think you cited 2015 as a start year for these projects. Isn't that quite so much time for us to look at the fuel shortages in the recent US-Iran war? And then, just for my curiosity, I'd like to understand why the Ministry of Works, and I know many Ugandans there would like to know, the Ministry of Works always uses contractors. Are there no Ugandans without this capacity? Has the entire ministry never developed this kind of capacity after all those years of having UNRWA execute such works? But still, even with UNRWA, there were contractors. I see you have very experienced engineers. What is the problem? Don't we have that capacity as Ugandans? Do we always need to look for contractors? I just want you to enlighten me on that so that I can understand the workings of government. Why is it always a preferred module of work that you have to always use contractors? And then the issue of flooding. We all know the climate patterns. And in the presentation about Amodo Bridge, flooding was cited. But you see, at least the rains have been predictable, at least in that part of Uganda, because I'm also from the northeastern part, not very far from Dokolo district, so we almost have a similar rain pattern. And we know when the rains are very much and when it will cause flooding. But we also know when there's a very long dry spell, which can enable such works be done and done to completion, so that when the rains come, you've provided mechanisms and you've finished the works. And no matter how the water levels rise in these swamps, at least the works will be safe. Then we just have to continue with the routine maintenance, because of course infrastructure cannot exist without maintenance. So on the issue of flooding, can't we honestly plan outside flooding, the flooding situation? Because you see, now like in Teso, there have not been rains since about Feb. Esther, since about Feb. We had a little rain Feb, March, and since then there's not been much rain. They say that was the heaviest in this year. But it's been a very dry season. Now we are hoping for the rains. I think UNMA informed Ugandans that there are going to be rains starting this August until about November. So can't you honestly plan around that? Because now we see all the roads are going to be affected, and also these works will definitely be affected. So thank you very much. Let's have the honorable members. I think if it's, how would you like to do this? Each question as it comes? Okay, I think that's very efficient. Okay, honorable members, what do you think about that mode of interaction? It may be efficient because it seems every question may be answered, but let me first get what the honorable members are comfortable with.
I was going to say the advantage is that each question is tracked immediately and disposed of. But if you bring a cluster of questions, you lose the others along the way. Okay.
Indulge us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairperson. So, Chairperson, I'd like to start with the last issue raised about the floods. Now, Chairperson, you'll appreciate that weather is something which is very uncertain. And when you say that we have known the weather patterns, the weather which affected this bridge in 2021-2023, Amodo, was unprecedented. The Lake Victoria was full. When Lake Victoria is full, the water goes on to Lake Choga and onto the River Nile. And when all that is full, is very big flooding. So the flooding in 2021-23 was unprecedented. Nobody could have predicted it. So when this flooding happened, the design which had been planned for Amodo, the ministry realized it could not manage the floods. So they had to go back to the drawing board, because if they had gone on with that design, it was futile, you know, because the
Join renowned Pan-African Bishop Joshua Maponga Marara III from Zimbabwe as the keynote speaker at the 9th Pan-African Pyramid Global Awards 2026 and 12th anniversary dinner to be held on the 29th of August 2026 at Munyonyo Peak Resort from 2 p.m. The theme is honoring the humanitarian legacy of Comrade Rajiv Ruparelia. Book your dinner card now on 0757 342 317 or 0782 342 317. This is the true awakening of African Renaissance. Come, let's rekindle our roots. Africa, don't agonize, organize. Powered by
Billions are invested, promises are made, projects are launched. But what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public funds delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda, auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free on fire, free on fire, free on fire.
I'm Dr. Lawrence, Vice Chancellor of Victoria University. Right now, the world is being rewritten, and I want to show you exactly how. Artificial intelligence has already changed how we work, how we learn, and how we live. It's not coming, it's here. And the question every parent should be asking is your child's university moving with it or being left behind? Take education. This used to be the classroom. Chalkboards, rows of desks, one voice at the front of the room. Now, this is the classroom at Victoria University. AI tutors, real-time feedback, every student learning at the speed of their own brilliance. Healthcare is next. This is how diagnosis used to work. slow, manual guesswork. This is how our students train today. AI-powered diagnostics, simulation labs, predicting illness before symptoms even appears. This is the future of medicine, and it's being taught right here in Uganda. It doesn't stop there. The way we bank, the way we farm, the way we build, AI is quietly rewriting every single one. And East Africa cannot afford to watch from the sidelines. So if you're a parent and you want your son or daughter to lead, not follow, this new world, ask yourself, where should they be? At Victoria University, our students don't just learn about AI, they build with it every single day. Victoria University is not just adapting to the age of AI, we are leading it. The leading university in artificial intelligence in Uganda and across East Africa. The future is already being built. The only question is, will your child help build it? Victoria University, where Africa's AI future begins. Apply today.
My opinion, I wouldn't want to buy this. I would want to look at this as a weak excuse, if you don't mind, because we all appreciate that the essential workers were given priority and you are free to move. And these were instructions by our own government. So I wouldn't think that instructions from our own government would hinder your progress. And remember, construction materials and whatnot were all free. I mean, you would transact them and use them. So I would need clarity on this. Let's take on that for now. Thank you.
Through you, Chairperson, I would like the question to be asked again in a clearer manner, because we haven't understood exactly what the honourable member.
Okay, I began by appreciating your report, and I looked at the area of challenges. I have identified one area of you being affected by COVID-19. You are saying that your works were delayed because of, or affected because of COVID. But again, we all appreciate that during the lockdown, the government accepted or allowed the essential workers to freely move and transact and work and construct and do whatever they had to do. So now, if we are given all those opportunities, why would you say that it affected your work, and yet you are amongst the the essential workers? Okay? So, and I emphasize the fact that this was everything that was brought was by our government, and how can our government fail us from working? That's just something that I feel that this excuse wouldn't really count. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. It is clear. Honourable Member, thank you very much for your question. Honourable Member, what we indicated is that the COVID epidemic did not stop the works. It slowed down the works. You will remember everything came to a standstill during the COVID pandemic. And because of that, the works were so slowed down. A lot of things were moving very slowly. We could not work at the pace at which it had been envisaged. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Once again, I also want to appreciate the Ministry for the presentation. But a few concerns here. I think in the presentation made by Engineer Pario, he did mention that this funding is from Government of Uganda funding. But again, when you see the level of implementation, where you are drawing money from the same source, but some lots are at 90%, others at 48%. Now you are giving various reasons for some of the delays, floods, maybe land acquisition and the rest. But don't you think the component of lotting is also a challenge in itself? Because do these contractors really have capacity to undertake these works at the same time? Because for me, the excuse of inadequate funding or no funding becomes a bit not a strong reason when you see other lots have gone to 90% funding and others are still at 50-something% funding, and yet you are drawing the money from the same source. Number two, you seem not to come clearly in terms of what does the project cost mean now? Because most of these projects were signed in 2021, and now we're in 2026. Are we still at the original contract signing prices, or there has been a massive variation in terms of the contracts that were signed? And probably you'll also give us, related to the earlier one, your experience about this lotting. Because I have seen a lot of challenges emerging in some other projects as a result of this lotting process, whether it is the best way really for us to continue following or not. And finally, when you look at some of the projects, some of the culverts that were procured for the Omodo Bridge, the ones which they say they are in Igulu mechanical work, they have been emerged by soil. I don't know how still effective these culverts are. If you see the pictures you have sent us, they really don't look now anything that any community will appreciate that they have been procured in new culverts. Are these culverts still fit for purpose in the way you have stored them? Is there no better way you can really have these things stored in a way that professionally can be appreciated by people? Thank you.
Engineer Pario, please.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Minister. Regarding the lotting challenges, I'd explained to you that since 2015, we have already completed 15 bridges. In addition, out of the 30, we already completed 6. So we are talking of progress of around 85 bridges in this current budget code. Now, why lotting is very efficient way of implementing these projects is because it saves the government on cost of site establishment and mobilization. For example, if you have a number of bridges in the eastern sub-region, it is easier to package them as one project. Then, so that a contractor will be able to efficiently and economically maintain. We have found that if you, unless the bridge is isolated, is completely off the cluster. For example, a power bridge. It will be very difficult for a contractor to do a power bridge and other in Western Uganda. But for example, as in the West, if all the bridges here are aligned on the same road network, it becomes more practically and easier to load them under that category. So we use a criteria, which makes the implementations of the bridge to be a bit more efficient and more economical compared to, assuming like in Western Uganda, if you look at the lot of the 6 bridges, that is the one I gave you, the Maziba, the Mahoma, Dunga, all these are on the same road. It means you will have 6 contractors if you split them. So every contractor will come with his own site establishment costs and the rest of it. So in our experience, we have actually found lotting them is more economical if they fall within a cluster. On the issue of the variations, the costs, whether there is we have not had any substantial variations of cost on this project so far. And maybe what I need to explain to you is these projects, we lot them in such a manner that there is continuous delivery of projects in various times. For example, if we started the first group now, as they progress, then we trigger the procurement of other groups which follow these ones, so that we have continuous cycle of budget absorption and also completion of the various projects. Otherwise, if you wait to do a lot, complete, and then start another one, will not be able to deliver all these number of bridges across the country. And maybe our experiences over the last 10 years, we now have there is drastic cut in experience of road cut-offs. Before 2015, when it rains like this, we'll have a lot of washouts all over the countries, and people will be cut off, but most of these bottlenecks and bridges have not been constructed. And that's why we now have few cut-offs in a few isolated areas, which we are going to also address. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Minister. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. About the storage of the culverts, these culverts are galvanized and they are supposed to withstand adverse weather, because where they are going to be installed is worse than an open area. Yes, they are being kept in a safe environment, and this is a test of their tenacity to adverse weather.
Thank you very much, Chair. A few issues of clarification, especially from page 3. Me and my colleague Engineer Sebuga, somewhere we have been asked that do you belong to that side or you belong to this side? Madam, some of these people supervised us in our career before. And we also had the opportunity to supervise some of them in our careers before. So that's an area where we are just to have conflict of interest, but it's okay. Out of these contractors in this list, how many firms were local firms and how many were international firms? Madam, I'm asking this question because I did the research in my master's in that particular area on the capacity of the contractors in the completion of bridge construction projects in Uganda. Yeah, it has some significance. I wanted them to be segregated, how many firms were local and how many were international. Because this committee here might be useful to you as a ministry in causing you to achieve some of your objectives. 2, on page 4 of the report by Engineer Lawrence Pario, I expected him to turn the challenges under 2.5 into recommendations or opportunities. Maybe the recommendations he will derive from there will further help us to support them in doing their work. Thirdly, on page 11 of 16 of his report, the report by Engineer Lawrence Pario, under serial number 1, lot 3, this Gazi Bridge, is it on Inde Ogo Korano Kambi Road or is it on Ochoko Inde Road? I'm not quite sure. Madam, at least in the last meeting you remember me telling you that I moved through some of these bridges and I had the opportunity to see how far each one of them had progressed. I stop there for now.
Yeah, Engineer Pario, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Let me start with the last question. Gazi and Archer fall on the same road. That is from Inde, Ogoko, Roinekemp.
Okay.
Yeah, there are two projects on that corridor there.
Yes.
One is Gazi, which is near Inde, then Archer is near Roinekemp. So they fall on that road there.
Okay, how about the swamp at near the teak trees?
I think the work is still on progress.
Oh, okay. I was wondering whether it's what you are referring to here.
Yeah.
Or it's the one which used to be a timber deck.
Yeah, that stretch is around 2 kilometers.
Okay.
We are addressing the whole bottleneck on that. In addition to the bridge, we're also doing the other culverts on the extended swamp. So the whole swamp is being raised up.
Okay. Fine, thank you for that first question.
Yeah, on which farms are local, if you look at the Annex 3 I gave you, Terrain Services is a local contractor.
What is Annex what?
Annex 3. Lot 1, Terrain Services is a local contractor. China Communications Construction Company is foreign. Terrain is number 1.
Okay, you go by lots.
Yeah, Lot 3, Terrain Services is a local contractor. Lugogo Swamp was much more bigger. It is China Communication Construction is foreign. Lot 2, that's serial number 3. China Railway 7th Group is foreign. Serial number 4, Sino Hydro is foreign. And then serial number 5, Dynaco Limited is
just
local.
Back to serial 4.
Serial 4, Sino Hydro Corporation is foreign.
Okay.
Serial number 5, Dynaco is local. Serial number 6, Ampas Technical Services is local. Serial number 7, Ambitious is local. And serial number...
Ambitious is local?
Yes, Ambitious is local. And serial number 8, Excel Construction is also local. So you can see majority of the... Yeah, number 9, Dynaco is also local. So most of these projects are being actually implemented by local contractors. Majority of them is local contractors.
Okay, Madam Chair, I wanted to know whether we are facing a lot of challenges or unease in supervising the local farms compared to the foreign farms in terms of their capacities.
Yeah, through the minister, the local farms who have been constructing these projects actually have got substantial good capacity. They have the required equipment and technical personnel because the process of procurement is very competitive and they're able to meet the criteria allocated, put in place under the procurement category, and that's how they're able to successfully win these contracts, and I think the work they're doing is quite commendable.
Okay. Thank you.
On recommendations, for sure, these challenges must be should be translated into opportunities, and I believe we'll do that and get back to you on this. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Chair, I've rested my case.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to thank the team for their wonderful presentation. Joyo Harriet. I want to begin by saying that the challenges that you have enlisted here is very scaring. And some of these challenges, like the fuel issue, is there a way we're anticipating a positive change in the near future? Because I have a feeling that some of this problem will be occurring to even become worse. So it's better for us to plan accordingly when we are planning for these bridges. And if up to now we are still using COVID as a reason, because COVID ended some 2-3 years back, and next year we shall also be having this reason of COVID as a delaying factor. Some of these challenges we need to, they're becoming obsolete. We need to translate it and present something that can make us forecast and come with a way forward of addressing it. And lastly, the issue of aging. Honorable Minister, I want to bring to your attention that I sit in the Committee of Roads in Obongi District, and we are having some national roads that are being managed by the ministry, like the road from area to Obongi District. We are having 3 bridges there. And when you look at those bridges, one of them is in Moyo and 2 are in Obongi. Those are bridges that were built some years back when we are still using bicycles. The rails are all broken. Last year, even on one of the bridges, Nyawa Bridge, ambulance had to slip off. So those bridges, they need a lot of assessment and intervention. And good enough you are having your team who are sitting in these districts. So I believe you have a lot of coordination with them. We presented this issue to them in the Roads Committee meeting, and we expected some response from the ministry whether it is something that is being planned. So I urge you to coordinate with your team on ground and try to assess some of these situations accordingly, and we need some response because the Roads Committee meeting is being held on quarterly basis. Lastly, we are having some bridges that are being constructed under Dr. Deep, the Ministry of OPM. I'm wondering whether they are not being supervised by the ministry, because Kochi Bridge in Obongi was being constructed with funding from Dr. Deep, and the work has stalled for now 2 years. Literally, we translate that the work has been, the one completed is around 85%. We presented it to the Prime Minister and she promised that that bridge will be completed. But I'm wondering why it's not on your list of bridges that are yet to be completed. Thank you very much.
Can you just talk about the bridge? Then I'll talk about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair, through the Honourable Minister. This Dr. Deep Bridge is under the authority of jurisdiction of OPM. I think the Honourable Minister is going to follow it up so that we can check its progress. Now, on the challenges of fuel, indeed this is a global phenomenon, and like the Honourable Minister said, we did write to UNOC and indicated to them the quantities of fuel we require for our construction projects annually, and they have promised that they are going to ration so that they can avail contractors these necessary quantities of fuel so that we can progress despite the challenges of price being high, which will be discussed. Now, on the issue of COVID, as you are aware, these bridges, actually, it's a big program, like the 55 have been completed. We are giving an indication of the challenges we faced throughout the implementation of these projects, including the ones which were completed. So we apologize for bringing this in, but we're just trying to indicate that even the bridges which are completed, they suffered a little bit of delay because of the COVID pandemic, and like the Honourable Minister explained, indeed, the implementation just slowed down during that period because of physical contacts and so on. So there are a little bit of restrictions. Although work was progressing, it was not as if we're in a normal environment. So we're just bringing it from that context. So we apologize for the impression it is giving that we are still using COVID now as a reason for the delay. Thank you.
Just to supplement what Engineer Wani has said, now the issue of Dr. Deep, we spoke to Honorable Sam Ngola, who is the minister in the OPM in charge of the Dr. Deep, and he indicated that this month they're going to begin a nationwide inspection to see all the Dr. Deep projects, and I'm sure they'll be able to see the bridge at what is the place you mentioned? At Kochi. And I'm sure, but we're having discussions with him, especially about that bridge and especially about projects in that area. Then the issue of bridges, you said the bridges were made when you were still riding bicycles. We have a problem. This is a general problem in the entire country. It's not limited to Moyo or Arua or Bongi. We have bridges which have outlived their lifespans. And we are having discussions with Ministry of Finance to see how new bridges can be built before these bridges cause problems. You will see of particular interest is Karuma Bridge, Pakwach Bridge. Construction is starting this year for both bridges. So the ministry is in talks with Ministry of Finance to get additional funding to work on the other smaller bridges. But we are starting with the big bridges because they are very important for connectivity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I've got I think about 4 issues to raise here. I imagine that before we contract, funds should be in place for all these projects. But when I look at lot number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and virtually all these projects have that challenge of delayed payment. So what is really the problem? Why should these payments be delayed? Since funding should have already been sourced. And these are 2 teams here that have to complement each other. Now, how can we help vis-a-vis that problem? Because contracts are already issued, work has started, then payment is delayed. So I don't understand that jig about it. What is the problem? Why the delayed payment? And then the second issue also, looking at lots 3, 7, and 8. There seems to be a problem of land acquisition, the compensation. How does that arise? I've got an experience in my constituency where they're laying water pipes. And as they're laying these water pipes, the surveyors come in and they give a rate that is really not palatable with the damage they are doing to the land. So how are you trying to solve that problem of land acquisition? What is the issue? Is it the rate of compensation? I don't somehow understand that. So maybe you could elaborate on that and let us know also where we can all complement each other to make it work. And I was a bit impressed about the issue of the local contractors. But we need to bring in more local contractors. In most countries now, you travel around the world, they are really encouraging the local contractors for local input. I would also like the ministry to tell us, what are you doing to encourage more local contractors? Do you have any specific incentives to bring them on board? That would be very nice for us to know. And the issue of fuel, some of these issues are not issues that, can be avoided. However, I was very impressed when I was reading the World Report yesterday regarding the issue of fuel shortages in Uganda. Apparently, our fuel reserves in Jinja have cushioned this country to a greater extent regarding the fuel shortages. And we definitely need more fuel shortages for various reasons like these contracts, security issues, and so forth. So is there anything the ministry is doing to try to make sure that these fuel shortages are reduced by increasing more reservoirs instead of just relying on Jinja as a sole reservoir? Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Honorable Drito. So I'll start with the question of the monies. You state that before contract begins, money is assured, money has been included in the budget. So why then do we have problems of a lack of money when the contract has started? Honorable Drito, I don't know if you know how Ministry of Finance works, but sometimes the money can be budgeted. The Ministry of Finance can announce that this amount has been released, when in actual fact they have released half of it. So you have budgeted for the full amount, you have only received half of it. You have to make do with what you have been given. So this is how we get such problems. We make the budgets, but we don't get all the money sometimes. So these are some of the problems we faced in the past couple of years. Then the question of land acquisition. Uganda has a very unique system in this region. Now the Tanzanians, land is owned by the government. If there's a government project, government simply takes the land and starts the project. But in Uganda, land belongs to the people. The people have to be compensated for their property. Now, this presents an additional cost to the government. And sometimes these costs are very huge. So we have land acquisition problems because of this. The third question you raised is a question of fuel. Fuel and the ginger reserves. We have gotten assurance from UNOC that there is sufficient fuel, and they're going to give priority to the contractors to make sure that they're able to go ahead with the construction works. So we don't see a very big problem with fuel shortage at the moment. There's sufficient fuel for all the works to be completed. That's the assurance we've gotten from UNOC. Incentive? Who could talk about the incentive? Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Chair, through the Honourable Minister. In regard to local contractors and what is being done, now the Ministry has set up a fully fledged department to look into issues of local contractors, and I think the guidelines are being prepared. But the current procurement framework provides for affirmative action to support local contractors. There are some jobs which are purely ring-fenced for local contractors, especially maintenance works, and those are purely local contractors to undertake these specific activities. The challenge with bridges is that it requires a highly specialized bridges engineers who are very scarce in this country. The pool that we have are the ones within the ministry that can undertake the design and preparing of project documents, but we also need additional larger pool that would be involved in the actual construction works, whether those works are undertaken by Ministry of Works or they are undertaken by private contractors. So I think as a country, we also need to have deliberate efforts to encourage many people and train them in the bridges works, in bridges engineering, so that this area here can be closed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, honorable members, and the team from the Ministry of Works. I'm Okulo Francis, Member of Parliament for Chero County. Basically, I wanted to talk about to inquire a few things about the local contractors that you are giving these contracts. First, I want to thank government that they are doing this to encourage them. However, I feel there are some challenges under that. And the number one thing that I've noticed is that some of the local contractors have a very...
The Miss Uganda 2026 journey to the crown is calling. Are you confident, intelligent, ambitious, and ready to represent the Pearl of Africa? Register now. Log on to missuganda.org. Celebrating 15 years of true Ugandan beauty. Follow the search on StarTimes Makula Chika starting 31st of July every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. Sponsored by partner sponsors V&A Sherry, Vaseline, U-Home, 7 Days International, Evervest Malt, and the lead sponsor, Opain Uganda. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
better study tips.
Be vigilant. Watch out for unexpected prizes or lottery wins. Genuine contests do not require advance payments or personal information. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Brought to you by, in partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
The parent is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha ngo isha watu yayewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana amashemero bagonka MTN mo eberewo mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni 5 sta manana 0 hash shashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo mchisheri zagwisho wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Billions are invested, promises are made, projects are launched. But what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public funds delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda. Auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apo is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apo today. Apo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
NBS. Always.
The world is going digital, and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than just content. It's about learning digital skills that lead to sustainable income, branding yourself with confidence, understanding influence and the digital economy. Next Creator equips young creatives with the tools they need to grow, adapt, and thrive in a fast-changing world. If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
The 31st December 2026. On the issue of lights, yes, we shall have lights at Katonga Bridge only. We expect to install some lights. Those will be installed maybe next soon, before the project is closed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Through you, Honorable Chair, Minister, that bridge to be honest. Honorable Minister, I want to let you know that in my district, Kiriandongo, whenever Karuma Bridge is under maintenance, we always have a lot of congestion or jam at the other ferry in Masinde Port. And I have a request to make.
because when the president came to commission Karuma Dam, he pledged to work on the road starting from Katulikire, Mutunda, Atura, and he also promised us a ferry. I would suggest, or I would request, through you, Honorable Minister, I would request government to work on that road so that whenever you are working on Karuma, we don't have a lot of congestion. The other side, people can as well use Katulikire, Mutunda, Atura, if we have the ferry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Member. I'm sorry I was not clear enough, but Karuma Bridge has been, the maintenance was completed, and there's not going to be further maintenance on that bridge. But a new bridge is going to be constructed at Karuma.
Okay.
And while that bridge, the new bridge is being constructed, this old bridge will still be in use.
Okay.
So there'll be no need for people to go down to the ferry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Chair, for this opportunity. And I want to thank the Honourable Minister for ably leading this team here. And I want to thank them for a good presentation. At first, we were worried that actually nothing was happening, but something is happening in this area under the ministry. We thank you. Ours is a government assurance committee. And all these projects we are talking about have been listed. We have picked them from the speeches which have been made annually here. We have picked them from the Hansard. So these documents are available. When you see us here, we want to see where we can help you. So look at us with that lens. We are not haunting you or witch hunting you, but we want to see where Parliament can be of use to you. So I'll be asking a few general questions and only a few specific ones on some projects. We know all goes well as you conceive projects. You prepare concept notes, you prepare feasibility study reports, where you look at the technical feasibility and the financial viability of these projects, and then you go ahead and even engage with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, when you meet the Development Committee, at which stage you secure a project code, because you don't proceed without a project code. And this is where this committee can be of very good use to you. You have secured a project code, and therefore there is a promise that there will be financing of these projects. We want to see what happens downstream. Why are there problems when it comes to implementation? Because they have given you a project code, you go ahead and prepare the detailed engineering designs, you proceed to procurement processes, and then these processes yield the construction contractors. Contractors come on site, and then problems start. As if government, as if Ministry of Finance wasn't aware that contractors, our providers, were coming to site. So we want to see how best we can help you. But also through the procurement processes, there are certainly problems. Because Honourable Minister has, Honourable Minister and the Engineer Wani, and all of you have said, we have got a problem of lack of experienced contractors to undertake this type of work, because it is quite specialized. So in the procurement processes, you haven't told us somehow that during this process, at times you actually get weak contractors, because you can't rule this out. You know, because there is a shortage, you go out into the market to source these contractors. Then during that process, at the end of the process, you yield weak contractors who are not necessarily up to the task. How shall we proceed? We know it's not an easy question, but we now need to watch out. Perhaps in our procurement processes, we would be recommending that you do a good pre-qualification instead of a one-stage procurement process, let it be a two-stage procurement process. Because here now, we are not recruiting, we are not engaging a road maintenance contractor. It is easy to do road maintenance work as opposed to constructing bridges. So let us be more stringent, if I may, on the process of procuring contractors. That is one. Number two, you've not made any comment on the capacity for supervision. Am I right to say that all this work is being supervised internally with the internal unit? You also need to make a comment on that. How stretched are you? Where are these experienced engineers who are supervising all these 30+ projects? We shall need to see that department, that unit. Give us that department, you know, that department of Engineer Lawrence, that division of Engineer Lawrence Pario. Let us look at it, examine it, look at your capacity and weaknesses. Honorable Minister has alluded to the point that there are problems with land acquisition. The land acquisition is a problem, yes, but most of these bridges are actually across swamps. And one would expect that these swamps belong to us. This time, I'm saying us as government. Who is this being compensated in the swamps? I understand when it comes to road approaches, because with the road approaches, you're on the dry land, either side of the crossing. This is the bridge. You have the other side of an approach, maybe a kilometer or so. The other side also is a kilometer, and you may have problems compensating the road approaches. But the actual swamp should be ours, so there shouldn't be serious problems compensating these people. There may be areas where a contractor actually has been given everything. He has the acquisition of land, and therefore he takes possession of site. He can start work. You may even have given him advance payment, 10 to 20% of the contract sum, but he does not perform. He was given 2 years to do a job, but it comes to 5 years. He has not been able to generate the interim payment certificates because his work is below the threshold. What happens? How are we enforcing these contracts? Are we now charging liquidated damages from this contractor who is not performing? Do you get this point? Are we charging him? Because now we have given him everything, but now he's not delivering. On the other side, government also may not be meeting its own obligations. The contractor has performed, you take long to pay him. You are supposed to pay him maybe within 60 days, depending on the form of contract you have, but then you don't pay him. Is the contractor in this particular case compensated? So this side would want to know how contract management is being done. Is it being done fairly? Is the contractor being compensated where he has done everything and is not being paid? Or on the other hand, if the contractor doesn't deliver on his obligations, does government or Ministry of Works now charge him liquidated damages in accordance with the contract? I will now turn a little to the Omodo Bridge. Just a few questions, a little observation there. On scope of work, Engineer Rose, I think this is your docket. Scope of work is item 1, Roman 3, where you have got the 3,500 millimeter by 3,500 millimeter box culverts. I take it that one dimension is along the road and another dimension is across the road. And therefore across the road is what I would be calling the width. One is the length, one is the width. Am I right? It's not like that. You're talking about the depth? Okay. So the length, how wide is the road? 7.5, okay. There I would be happy. I was worried that one dimension was the width, because then it would be causing a constriction on the road itself. If that is the case, then I'm happy. But I will not leave this microphone before I talk about emergency cases, because we're talking about drainage. And people have been talking about floods. What assurance? You know, we are an assurance committee. What assurance are you giving us as ministry that should there be flooding, we have got good stock of drainage materials, like the large diameter pipe culverts, let's say 1800 millimeter diameter, 1500, 1800, that type of size, and also the steel bridges, which give temporary relief. The ones we ordinarily called Bejele bridges, do we have them in stock? Should they be flooding in Uganda at a number of crossings? Shall we be assured that there will be continuity of traffic flow? I thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes. Can I ask Engineer Pario and Engineer Wani to respond to these questions?
Thank you, Chair. Through the Honorable Minister, I want to start with the emergencies. In our Mpigi store, we have two 40-meter Bailey bridges in stock. Two number, 40 meters span. On average, most of our bridges in Uganda range between 25 to 30. As you move towards 40, they are very few. So we have two number in stock, which are available for any deployment under an emergency condition. We also have got some 25 meters and 15 meter spans. And as we have been upgrading roads, we are also demobilizing those which were installed on our network back to the stations, so that we can use them for any emergency situations. So in terms of steel bridges we have, in terms of large diameter culverts, I think Commissioner will take that. Then on the issue of contract supervision, whether we are being fair to the contractors and whether the contractors are being fair to us, yes. We strictly follow the contract protocol. That's a FIDI contract which is signed between all the parties, so that the responsibilities, the obligations, and the commitments of both parties should fully be aligned according to the contract. Where the contractors falter as a result of their failures, we charge them delay damages. And also where we fault as government, we also respect the rights of the contractors. But all in all, since most of these bridge projects are design and build, the design and build contracts are actually much more fair to the employer. In that, apart from the issue of maybe delayed cost delayed payments, the contracts have been moving efficiently. We have been delaying them. Yeah, on the two-stage procurement cycle, yes, we thank you for that observation. We know you are very experienced in that area. We are surely using that. Yeah, you are still very experienced in that area. We appreciate. For major projects, we go for that two-stage envelope to mitigate the risk of to mitigate the risk of getting weak contractors. Land acquisition, we only compensate for lands outside the swamp. That's the approach road. For every bridge we construct, we do 1 kilometer approach road on either sides. And then we pave half the kilometer. What we are doing is that maintenance of bridges is once you build a bridge, the bridge requires to be maintained. During the course of our implementation experience, we have found that if you do a bridge and leave the approach as gravel, when the storm water comes, you'll always have mud pools on the bridge. You'll have the issues of blocking the drainages due to whatever, and then also dirtening of the bridge. So we have realized that actually when you pave half a kilometer on each side of the bridge remains relatively very clean and it's easy to maintain. So the land we acquire is the approach for the approach road, which only improves the safety of the approaches in that section, and also it improves the maintenance of our bridges. On capacity of supervision, yes, the division of bridges, which has been created, has got a good team. I, as the assistant commissioner, is supported by the principal engineers, the senior engineers, the engineers, and also we take a lot of graduates. We take a lot of graduates from various universities. We deploy them to this site to gain experience. I think over the years we have built capacity of a number of graduates, engineering graduates. They could be now clocking to over 100 or 150. Over the years we have deployed on these projects. So in-house capacity supervision is good. In fact, all these 85 bridges we are going to deliver are being supervised by the local engineers, the graduate engineers, the project engineers, the senior engineers, and principal engineers. And so far, I think it has enhanced their capacity, and we think if we move in that direction and we give them more opportunities, we should be able to get the best. Our alignment is that we are now going to the next phase of infrastructure development in this country, which apparently is going to be structures, flyovers, viaducts, and the rest of it. So we are using this opportunity to train the lot of young engineers who are going to be supporting the future development of this future infrastructure at which we are now at the door. There was yeah, I think basically those are the key issues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, through the Honourable Minister, there was, just to add on the issue of emergence, in addition to the Bailey bridges, we also have a framework contract for supply of culverts of various sizes, ranging from 900 up to 2,500. So, in case it is not a bridge and it is a crossing, then we can be able to order and then we deploy this. So, in terms of emergence, I think we prepared for that. Now, the question you raised about the pre-feasibility study and concepts, indeed it is true. A feasibility was prepared, especially for the 100 bridges and the selected 66, and these projects were admitted. Now, what happened was that in the NDP 3, the MTEF that was guaranteed to us for the 5 years experienced cuts because of the COVID and many other priorities of government. So whereas projects had been signed, they are 3-year projects or 2-year projects, and these cuts are done along the way, and that affected the cash flow from government, and that caused this delay in releases and subsequent payments to the contractors. And that was a very huge challenge during UNRWA time, where contractors were charging government huge bills in terms of interest on delayed payment. And I think this was well reported and presented. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair and Honorable Minister. I have a few concerns. One is when you look through the Annex 3, the Lot 1, Lot 2, Lot 3, you realize that there is a lot of revision of revising by 2 years if it's supposed to be like 2024, 2026, all of them, almost, I think all of them have been, there's been revised in time of finishing. I am a little suspicious. Why? Is there, well, you know, well, I mean, I would expect at least one lot to be revised. But if all is happening, can we say maybe because we are a little conscious of corruption issues, do we think that this is coming in? Why are some money being diverted? So I think it is something that we need to look into. Why revision? And you realize that a project has been given 2 years, then it is revised by 2 years. At least it will be revised by 5 months or even 1 year, but not again at almost at the same amount of time. So, and then number 2, of course, I was also imagining, now we have UNRWA, which is going. Are we seeing Ministry of Works? Are we getting more problems? Or maybe Ministry of Works was more effective? Or is it, maybe we need assurance from Ministry of Works that indeed UNRWA will left, but we have a lot of capacity to even perform better than them. Number 2, when you come to these bridges, most of them, of course, cut across swamps. And of course, swamps are very good environmental, good thing for our nature. And of course, it destroys our environment. I don't know how assured we are that our environment is being taken care of even when these bridges are being implemented. We've seen a number of projects. We use the other side. The other thing is, I see sometimes Ministry of Works, are we having like a knee-jerk issue? There is a bridge as you go to my place in Kapchoro. There is a bridge in after Sirongo. That bridge broke down almost 3-4 years ago. Yes, around 4 years ago. And they had to do a small diversion, even tarmac the diversion. But until even that diversion is completely down, there is no work being done. We have had so many losses of life on that place. Now we are expecting El Nino rains very soon. And I think, and there is almost no work going on. Even I was there yesterday, I passed there yesterday. There's really no much work. And similarly, when you come to Nabionga, we lost a number of lives in Nabionga River. But Ministry of Works, we have not done anything. There is no action being taken to see that this bridge is being worked on, so that when we get other floodings, we may not again lose more lives. Just to very little, I still want to use this opportunity, Chair, to ask Ministry of Works. You know, we have lost hundreds of lives in the stretch of Muyembe Sipi Road, as you capture a road. A number of lives, hundreds, or even over, close to maybe 500 lives. And we lose every time. I was still imploring Ministry of Works. Can we do something? Can we redesign that road so that we don't lose more lives on that road? I thank you very much.
Engineer Pario, please.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Minister, through you, on a revision of dates of times of completion of these projects, as I would explain, between 2020 and 21, about there, we got challenges with the budget cuts. And many of these projects, contracts came around that time there. When we had budget cuts, we couldn't pay the contractors. As such, some of the contractors demobilized from sites. Now, when they demobilize, that becomes the employer's default. Then automatically, a contractor who is not being paid, and when demobilized, still has the obligation to complete the work. So in the FIDI contract system, where you default as employer, then the contractor is entitled to extension of time. Those decisions are made after evaluations through the contract process. It is true, this lot of 30 or so bridges we are currently doing had all those challenges of the contractors getting paid. But now, because recently government released money, and most of the contractors have been paid, they are now fully on site. And they are, within the next 1 year, we should be able to close all these 30 projects and sell them off for public use. On environmental issues, those are the cross-cutting issues we always address in the construction of these projects. We have the issue of environment, we have the issue of HIV/AIDS, we have the issue of social safeguards, and then we have the relevant permits for construction. And above all, most of these projects we are doing are not on green belt. We are just replacing bridges which have completely gotten obsolete and which can no longer be used. But all these cross-cutting issues, we strictly follow them according to the contract and make sure all the environmental protocol are strictly adhered to. On the bridge on Sironko, this bridge is supposed to be done by the contractor on Muyembe Road. I think we'll take interest. I want to take interest. Get in touch with you, and we try to help you to see exactly the problem after this, so that I can put my team to solve this problem immediately, sir. Thank you.
I think, Honourable Minister, there was this issue of redesigning the existing road with the accidents. We are going to, our design team has assessed, and we are going to have the recommendations. Some of them will be implemented during the periodic maintenance activity, but then some may be immediate. Although this financial year we don't have resources to implement those safety measures. I think in the next financial year we should be able to implement some interim measures to slow down vehicles so that we mitigate and minimize some of the accidents that are happening on that section. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chair. Mine goes to the Honorable Minister. We are all aware of this Kisanja is about to no more sleep and no more corruption. Honorable Minister has talked about fuel having been increased the rate, its rates. But on the report, practically we needed to be having a table that is really, that can convince me, a layperson, to accept that this is the earlier quote done by the contractor and this is the current quote now regarding the increase of fuel, so that we are all at the same page. So next time, maybe when we are having a meeting, we need to have new quotations. We need to have old quotation and a new quotation from the contractors for us to believe that indeed it is their challenge that have got now the difference in the fuel increment. Secondly, when I looked at the projects here, Right Honorable Minister, according to me, it appears there is a very big, serious gap in supervision and monitoring. I don't know how you're going to convince us here that the engineering team and monitoring teams are really doing adequate work on ground. And I would like to find out from the Minister, are you not hiring a consultancy firms to support you in supervision? Because I once worked with a contractor, and government was the biggest client by then. They were given us consulting team as well to support the ministry. So I see these complicated projects may need also a consulting firm to support the ministry in the supervision.
I think basically that's what I wanted to raise, and I would like to hear from the Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. May I ask Engineer Wani to respond to the questions?
Thank you, Chair, through the Honorable Minister. On the issue of fuel, there are two aspects here. Number one is the issue of scarcity. Of recent, in some areas, fuel is very scarce. Contractors actually cannot have the quantities that they need to sustain works. Then number two, that's what the Minister was talking about. Then number two is now the issue of price. We all know that most of these projects are like 4 years old when fuel was between 3,800 and 4,200. But currently in some areas within the country, fuel is at almost 7,000. And in the month of June, I think some areas had it escalate almost up to 10,000 during that period. So that's what we are talking about. Although the full impact of price is not yet known, but we had some contractors slow down because of scarcity in some areas of this country. Now, in terms of monitoring and supervision, yes, we have monitoring teams, monitoring department within the ministry, but also Ministry of Finance has budget monitoring unit that comes every year to do monitoring of our projects. In terms of supervision, our division of bridges and the drainage structures, they are fully staffed with the very good and well-trained engineers, although they still need refresher training because this training is continuous. Although they are highly experienced, there are new concepts that come into the industry, and therefore they still need the retraining. So these bridges are being supervised by this staff of the Ministry of Works. We would have got the consultants, but the number that we have is sufficient really to do the supervision as of now. I think that's all, Honourable Minister. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Mine goes to the Minister. Just having two questions here. What action has the ministry taken against underperforming constructors? Why I'm asking like this, in Karamoja, there is a bridge that I raised last time on floor of Parliament. And the Prime Minister told me it is under the government. But this bridge connects very many people in terms of business. So I am asking the Minister, what action has the ministry taken against underperforming constructors? Because in Karamoja, it is of recent when they saw that I was raising the problem of the bridge, is when I saw the contractors going to the bridge, yet the bridge is under the government. And when I told them in the district, I am going to bring Balaam, everyone was quaking. And now we keep blaming the government that the government is not giving us money for the bridges. So another question is, who is, like the way my colleague has, the same question my colleague raised, who is the supervising consultant stock engineer, and what reports have they submitted about the delays of the bridges? Because in Nabilatuk, there is a bridge that caused a lot of problems. It carried like 5 people in Nabilatuk district. So I don't know how the government is going to help us about that. And then another question is on funding and payments. Does the government release all the budgeted funds for the mentioned bridges? If yes, how much is outstanding? Another one is, are there delayed payments to constructor that is causing slow progress of the work? What is being done to clear those areas? Because these constructors in Karamoja, they keep complaining that they are not paid to do the work, yet the work is for the government. So is it true that the government is not paying the constructors? That is the question I wanted the minister to answer.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Let me ask Engineer Wani and Engineer Pario to answer.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson, through the Honourable Minister. I think I need to engage the Honourable Member so that we can get the specifics of these bridges. They could be under the district local government so that we can see what the details are, and then we see how to resolve these challenges that are being experienced on these contracts?
The Honorable Prime Minister told me to go and ascertain if the road is under government or the district. So they told me it's under government. And I also wrote the report I delivered to her. Yes. It is okay, I'm going to... Okay, I think that's about it. Honorable Minister and your team, we thank you very much for this interaction. It was about the 30 bridges, but of course there are some questions outside those that we would seek clarity on, since you're the team at Ministry of Works. One of the citizens who's watching has reached out to me to ask you about the plans that you have for Kafu Bridge, given its dire condition. Told it's in a very sorry state. Honorable Minister, if you can update the public on Kafu Bridge, it will be really good. No, it's not among the ones that it's not among the 30, but...
Madam Chair.
Yes, Engineer.
Kafu Bridge on which road?
Oh.
You know, there's Kafu Bridge on Hoima Road as you move from Chivaga going to Hoima. Then there is Kafu Bridge along the Kampala Gulu Road. Actually, Kafu, the board of Nakasongo and Masiri district, as you all know. So you'll find Kafu in a number of places. So he will need to know which Kafu Bridge we are talking about.
He says that the main Kafu Bridge on the main highway.
That is likely to be the Gulu Road.
Okay, so Chairperson, we have a plan.
Yes, that's right, actually, Kampala Gulu.
Yes, I can see here there's an unfunded priority for Kafu Bridge along Kampala Gulu Highway for 63 billion this year, but this has not been funded. So Ministry of Finance has not given us the money for this, but we agree that this bridge is very critical and should be worked on. So we're engaging the Ministry of Finance to see how we can get money, but we haven't gotten money for it. Yes. That's a big reality of all this.
So it's unfunded in this financial year?
It is not funded.
So just in case something happens, they'll be cut off?
This is a big problem. You see, the government doesn't have enough money to fund all the critical projects. So they are working with, now they will choose Karuma and Pakwach over Kafu. And Kafu, the river is this side at Gulu Highway, and also the Hoima side is Kafu also. So if people can pass the other side, maybe Engineer one.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Chair, through the Honorable Minister. Yeah, that bridge still has some life of about 10 years. That's why we need to start the process of replacing it now, because process of replacing involves a design which will take not more than 1 year, looking for the funds, and then construction of 3 years. So by the time it is due for decommissioning, we should be able to have this in place. And they will continue engaging Ministry of Finance so that we can have this bridge replaced before its service life is over. So the plan is that we have started the process so that we complete the new bridge before the service life of the current one is over. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we are informing you that we shall be in the field next week to see the works as a committee. And we request for the ministry to give us quite an amount of documentation, the project by project status reports, assigned contracts, the budget releases, interim payment certificates.
Honorable Chairperson, would it help if we got?
Yeah, we shall write a letter to you. I'm just notifying you. I'm giving you notice, but there will be a letter that will itemize all the documents that we need. The chronology, the full chronology on the Amodo Bridge, the project affected persons compensation, records of UNRAD to the ministry, institutional handover relating to these particular projects. But outside that, I think that's about it from us. We appreciate you, Ministry of Works, for making time for this interaction. And of course, when we come back from the field, we shall still seek your attention to share our findings before we take the committee report to the floor of Parliament. I think that's courteous, just to let you know. So thank you very much. I now hereby discharge you, Honorable Minister, and wish you and your team a good day. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Lawrence, Vice Chancellor of Victoria University. Right now, the world is being rewritten, and I want to show you exactly how. Artificial intelligence has already changed how we work, how we learn, and how we live. It's not coming, it's here. And the question every parent should be asking is your child's university moving with it or being left behind? Take education. This used to be the classroom. Chalkboards, rows of desks, one voice at the front of the room. Now, this is the classroom at Victoria University. AI tutors, real-time feedback, every student learning at the speed of their own brilliance. Healthcare is next. This is how diagnosis used to work. Slow, manual, guesswork. This is how our students train today. AI-powered diagnostics, simulation labs, predicting illness before symptoms even appears. This is the future of medicine, and it's being taught right here in Uganda. It doesn't stop there. The way we bank, the way we farm, the way we build, AI is quietly rewriting every single one. And East Africa cannot afford to watch from the sidelines. So if you're a parent and you want your son or daughter to lead, not follow, this new world, ask yourself, where should they be? At Victoria University, our students don't just learn about AI, they build with it every single day. Victoria University is not just adapting to the age of AI, we are leading it. The leading university in artificial intelligence in Uganda and across East Africa. The future is already being built. The only question is, will your child help build it? Victoria University, where Africa's AI future begins. Apply today.
Influence is more than followers, it's impact. At Next Influencer, we connect brands with the right voices through a thorough vetting and discovery process.